My name is Sarah Graybill. I own Graybill Creative. I am a marketer, a developer. I am not a designer whatsoever, but I work with a lot of designers offering marketing and development support. And I've noticed lately, some of these designers have been having problems with designing websites for their client. Their client will come in and say, hey, I need a website. And they'll meet with their client and they'll get all the information. They design the site, they get it built, they hand it over to their client, and their client's excited. It looks great, they're excited, they want to show it off, and then a month or two later, they come back and they are upset and frustrated because they spent all this money on this website. They're still spending money every month on this website, and it's not doing anything for them. It's not bringing in new visitors, it's not increasing phone calls, and so they get frustrated thinking they had to have this website, and it was supposed to help in their marketing, but it's not doing anything. It was just a big expense for them. And so they come to the designers and they're frustrated and they complain, and then the designers get frustrated because they thought they gave their client what they wanted. The client said, I need a slider, I need a newsletter opt-in, I need all these things, and so the designer gave it to them, but now they're not happy. And so they go back and forth, and everyone's frustrated, and no one leaves happy, and it's just a very frustrating cycle for these designers that they've been running into. I think a lot of the problem is anymore we can't just design a site that looks good. We have to have a design that meets our clients' needs. 10 years ago, it was okay to design a site, look good. If it looked good and professional, you were 10 steps ahead of the competition. We're not at that point anymore. The industry's matured. Our clients have higher expectations. If they're spending this money on these websites, they want something that will give them a return on their investment. They want money in their pocketbook. They want newsletter subscribers. They want something. I think that one of the problems we're running into is designers are missing a critical step in the process. They don't sit down and look at the goals that their clients want to achieve. They don't look at what they want to achieve and what the expectations are before sitting down and designing the site. And while this sounds scary because it's more work, it's more things you have to know, it actually helps you, because before it was just this nebulous goal of the client needs to think the site looks good and hopefully they'll be happy. And now you have concrete goals you can look at and say, you wanted X, we've achieved X. You wanted Y, you have things to work towards. So I have 6 things that I'm going to walk through. These are the steps I take with my clients. I sit down and it creates a plan before we even sit down and I hand it off to the designer. And it should make your life hopefully a lot easier and hopefully make your client much happier in the end. The first step, you really need to sit down and create a list of goals. What is your client hoping to achieve? Ultimately, it's probably going to be money in their pocketbook. But how do they see that happening? Do they see more products being sold on their site? Do they see more newsletter subscribers? Just more eyeballs on the site? What is it they're hoping for? Once you have those, you can then begin the design process. You can't really, until you establish what it is that your client is wanting and what you want the website to do, you don't know how it's going to do it. You also you need to have one overarching goal for the entire website. What is the one thing you want it to achieve? But it's also okay to have multiple goals per page. So the blog, you may want it to link to newsletter subscribers. The services page, it may link to the contact form so that people can contact them. But really, you just need to sit down and have a list of goals so that you know what you need to achieve by the end of the project. Once you have that, you need to look at your target market. And this goes beyond, I'm a wedding photographer, my target market is brides, I'm gonna do pastel colors and big pictures and call it good. This needs to be really dive deep into who your clients are, or who their clients are, what they do, where they live. These are 2 that I've created for my clients. I've tried to get as specific as possible. Julie, she's a female, she's typically in her 20s to 30s. She's a creative entrepreneur, 1 to 2 employees at most. She's been in business for 1 to 7 years, and she often works from home or coffee shops or somewhere where she can just travel to and work remote. Danny, he's normally male, 40s to 50s. He's a business owner. He works in professional services, so your engineers, your architects, things like that. He's been in business 10 to 15 years and has 10 to 15 employees and has an office he works out of. I created these personas to help me when I'm making all my marketing decisions. And if you help your client create these personas, it's really going to help you get down into the details. For example, I know Julie, she hangs out in some Facebook groups targeted for creative entrepreneurs. I'm not going to find Danny in those Facebook groups. I'm going to find him in networking, industry-specific networking events. I'll find him on LinkedIn and that kind of thing. And so by knowing these details for your target market and really diving deep, you can compare every decision you make against this and whether it's going to reach them. So you know your goals, you know your target market. Now you need to know your client's brand. Are they professional? Are they corporate? Are they quirky? Is it going to be more like a Fortune 500 company, or is it going to be like MailChimp where they use a lot of humor, fun colors? Knowing your client's brand will help you decide what colors you use, what the tone of your message is. Everything about the look and feel of your website is going to relate back to your client's brand, your target market. So you've gone over your goals, you've got your target market, you've got your brand. Now we can start designing. And every design decision needs to go back to these 3 things. What colors should we use? Our target market is professionals, and we have a corporate culture, so we can use some blues, some muted colors, that kind of thing. This also makes feedback easier for you all. We all have that client who comes in, I really like this bright shade of purple. Can we use this on our website? This makes it easier because you can go back to the goals and say, remember this goal? This is what you're trying to achieve. Bright purple isn't going to reach these people, so do you want more people to your website? Do you want to reach your customers and get more money, or do you want to see your favorite color? You know, they'll come to you, I need my picture on the top of the website taking up the full above the header. Do you want to see yourself, or do you want to reach your clients? These are your options. You can't really have both. And so when you have these goals to refer back to, it makes it a lot easier when working with your clients because you have concrete reasons you can give them for why you did what you did. Again, every design decision should be based on the goals you already outlined. Hopefully this will make it easier because you're not just kind of designing in a black hole. You have things that you're comparing it to, you're working on, and you can give a reason for the design decisions you make. And I'm not just saying design is not important, because it is. A good design is going to give you credibility and make your website look more professional. It just needs to be added into this mix. So you've created the design, you've built the site. Hopefully from the very beginning, you've been collecting analytics. You've gotten access to their analytics account. You know their numbers. You know how many site visitors, newsletter subscribers, all of that. Now's the time to start measuring and seeing how your website is doing. Are you bringing in new subscribers? Are you increasing the traffic? Is your website design, is it making the difference you hoped it would? I'll also say it's helpful if you can get the value of a customer. Not all business owners will tell you that, but it's helpful because you can say, look, we're bringing in 5 new clients a month. Typically they're worth about $3,000 a client. Your $5,000 website is netting you about $10,000 a month. And so it helps give you a little backing, and they'll see that it was an investment and they're getting a return on their investment, and it's not just a large expense for them. These numbers are also going to be important in the next step, and them knowing that it's an investment, because we're going to rinse and repeat. We're going to look at the website. The good thing about a website is it's not static. It's not something you set up once and leave. It's something that is ever changing. You can change things, you can measure them, do A/B testing, and see what's working, what's not. Let's go back, change a few things, and see what that does. If you were able to show your client their profit and how you benefited them, this is also a good time to maybe get a retainer contract to hopefully keep working with them on their website. You want this to be a long-term relationship so you can keep helping them, and growing their site makes them happy because they know you're working for them and helping them bring in more money, and everyone likes retainer money. So hopefully you can continue to improve it and show them that your website and what you're doing is benefiting them. All right. That's what I have. This is where you can find me online. I'd love, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, reach out to me here or online. Yes.
Obviously I know you work directly with clients as well as through agencies. So when you're working directly with them, I would imagine there's a spectrum as far as, you pulled up some personas, some specific personas. And so what spectrum do you see as far as people coming in, having a blank look on their face when you start talking about target audience personas versus they already have some personas on it?
So the question is, do clients understand when you talk about personas or target market, what you're talking about? A lot of them do not. I work with a lot of small business owners, and so this is normally the first they've ever heard of it. So we have to go through the process of, well, who typically buys your product? And we start at the very beginning, who comes in, we look at analytics, and then we kind of build from there. So it is definitely a learning process for everyone. Does that answer your question?
There's a lot of questions. What would you say on those 6 steps is the hardest part for you and for the client?
I think the hardest part for the client is typically target market, because you ask them who they sell to, and it's everybody. And if you're selling to everybody, you're probably not really getting anyone. So really getting down into it, and no, you're not selling to everyone. What ages, who do you typically, who buys from you? That's hard for them to grasp at first. For me, it's probably the same, just getting them to understand what it is, who it is they're selling to. I mean, goals, typically they know, I need more money. Sometimes that's hard because they just know they need more money coming in, but they don't know how that process needs to go. Do they need to get more subscribers first, or do they need to go straight to a contact form and call them? Andy?
When you're tracking stuff, how do you go about tracking and picking what you track? And then how do you get like a previous set point if you don't know where they came from?
Sure. Assuming they already have a website?
Yeah.
As soon as, excuse me, as soon as I know I'm going to be working with them, I try to get access to their analytics. Sometimes they don't have them set up. So as soon as we meet, we set them up. So at least during the design process, we can see what's going on. I like more information going further back, but you kind of take what you can get. There was another part to your question.
I guess if you use it just like Google Analytics.
A lot of times I use Google Analytics, Search Console. I'll run some speed tests, that kind of thing. Just the developer side of me, trying to speed it up and everything. But
So do you, your Because I was talking about all those things, right? On the initial measure, you said you actually installed Google Analytics or get access to it on the old site before you switched sites?
I tried to, yes.
How often are you able to do that?
Typically, if they don't have it installed, it's pretty easy. They just let me in. Sorry. Thank you. Typically, if they don't have it installed, it's pretty easy because I can just go add it to the back end. A lot of the times, though, their previous developer had access to it or something like that, so I can't. Thank you. So, I mean, it's just as much as I can. But I found a lot of people don't have analytics already installed, so more often than not, I get it. Yes.
So I've been reading a lot where Google is really trying to push like local home area search results.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do anything with Google Analytics?
Yes, that's part of, typically for my clients, I try to start not with a new website, but a marketing strategy. So I sit down with them and we go through, we don't cover just websites, we cover social, we cover everything digital marketing. So part of that is looking at Google My Business, looking at local SEO, trying to make sure that's set up. If not, what can we do to improve it to make sure that they're getting in front of those people?